hang out with people. So, and then you will find speakers who, they just don't hang out with people. They just like, I'm up here. Hello, it's been transformational. Goodbye. And then they go behind. Like, yeah, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? Can I just tell you a bit? And I know you have to have healthy boundaries with yourself too. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and you guys you respect your boundaries. Right? No one's like, if I gotta go pee, it's like, you know. So these amazing ladies that have been gracious enough to show up this weekend, they're hanging out with you. They're in the audience. They're taking notes. It's amazing. So can we give our speakers a hand? And Lisa is no exception. Lisa is one amazing woman. She has been as far as one of the top advertising companies. She has done some amazing things in regards to advertising, some jingles that you probably know of, some companies that you know of that she's going to be sharing with you. But she has decided to leave corporate and help us entrepreneurs really capitalize on our gracious and humbled for the fabulous Lisa Rothstein. Lisa, come on down!
Energy. Has this been amazing?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, my clicker. After all that. So, first of all, who knows, I know all of you know what copywriting is, but let me just make a quick distinction, because we know that there's copywriting means two different things. The copywriting that I'm not talking about is not how to trademark your work, okay? The copywriting that I'm talking about is writing the words that are going to stand in for you when you're not around to speak, okay? The words that are going to get people to come hear you speak when they see them on the internet or someplace else, on Facebook or something, okay? So we just want to be clear about that. Today I'm going to be talking about what I call the magic 5-step formula for copywriting, for writing compelling copy every time. Now, who in the room thinks that it's really, really simple and easy and fun to write their sales copy? Anyone? Who thinks it's really hard and tedious and difficult? Okay, almost everybody. That is totally normal. Pretty much when you write copy for yourself, and this is not a pitch for myself, and you should hire me. When you write copy for yourself, including me, it's very, very hard. Because, I mean, you saw from Patty, you see her nodding, it's very hard to see yourself. Okay? And there's a few reasons why writing your own copy is really, really hard, and I'm going to be talking to you about how to make it easy. Because I'm all about wanting to demystify this for you. That's why you're going to be seeing every once in a while, my little cartoons on my slides, because I introduce myself. It's my little chance to get my other talents into my work. Because I just want you guys to feel like it's not that big, it's not rocket science, it really, really isn't. So how about, see if this works. Oh my God, it's working, I'm so excited. So you're about to discover how to create copy that sells no matter what business you're in, even if you can't write your way out of a wet paper bag. I have no idea where to start. And that's, I'm going to give you all I can do about that today. Obviously, I'm going to tell you how you can go further with me if you want to, but my mission today is to make sure that you walk out of here with stuff that you can go and apply tonight. Go back to your website tonight, do whatever you know. With what you're going to learn today, I'm very excited about it, you can probably tell, because it really works for everything. And you're going to notice that you've actually been seeing this all around you, but you didn't know what it was. And now you can apply it to your business. This is my first time with the clicker, and I'm like, oh my God, it works. So this is the obligatory who am I and why should you listen to me slide. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story, not as much as some other folks have done. It's more like a professional thing more than a personal thing for me. Actually, this is the first time I've ever shown this picture. I started as an entrepreneur. This is me as a street performer in New York City. When I was in college, college. I went to college when I was 16 years old, and I didn't have, I wasn't allowed to work in bars or restaurants that sold alcohol. I couldn't type worth it down, and I needed a job. And luckily for me, my mom was a theater person, and thought it would be okay for me to stand in a cardboard box on a street corner in Manhattan and play my tin whistle and for a quarter apiece, for a quarter song. And that's what I did for 4 or 5 summers. Every song had a different, yeah, I got the news. You're talking about media. I was on media, that was when I was like 17. The song I must have been just playing was probably some Bach concerto, and so I made that big out of cotton balls. Okay, so the reason I'm here with you guys today, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, is that, I started off as a creative entrepreneur. So that was the job I made up myself, and I actually made a couple of $1,000 each summer, mostly in quarters, so that was pretty amazing. Then I got a real job on Madison Avenue. It was perfect preparation for a real job on Madison Avenue. Some of you may recognize the scene is from Mad Men, if you've ever watched the television show Mad Men. I really was Peggy. 20 years after Peggy, I was Peggy. And I love this show. It really actually expresses what it's like to be in the ad business. And so some of the brands I've worked on, you may have heard of. Some of these are some of my clients, so some of the commercials and things that I wrote when I was in New York and also in Europe. I was in Paris for 12 years. I know, for me. And yes, at Hanes especially, you remember the jingle that goes, "Wait till we get our Hanes on you." That was mine. So I did crazy things. So you may make you wonder, so why am I here with you guys, entrepreneurs? It's like, I don't see anybody from IBM in this room. You gotta think, you're all a lot more interesting than IBM. So why am I here? It's because, wow, God. I'm here because when I was working in advertising, I was actually in Europe. For a long time. I came back to the States for another opportunity that, didn't exactly work out the way I planned. I came back to be a screenwriter, and I got some interest in one of my screenplays. Didn't turn out, but I did meet my husband, so that was cool. I stayed in San Diego, but in the meantime, I was working as a freelancer. Didn't really want to go back to the agency business. As some of you may notice, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get a JOB job when you're not like 25 years old in certain industries. And I just wasn't really, I'd been on my own for a while, I didn't really want to go back to that kind of work. However, then I became an entrepreneur again. So I was in a box, on the street corner, went to a corner office, and then I was back in my little box again. I noticed something amazing. I thought I'd love it. It was lonely, it was isolating, and I had been doing my other job for so long that I forgot who I was. I felt totally lost. I didn't feel like I had any value by myself, got that business card with somebody else's name on it. This is the first time I'm really telling the story exactly like this. It choked me up a little bit because I was really upset. And I was upset with myself at being upset because I didn't know I'd given so much of my value away to some, company, who they didn't owe me anything. Why was I giving them my, letting them assign my value? So that's why I'm here, because I'm very, very passionate about everybody in this room who has decided to take this journey, that you do not need somebody else to tell you who you are. You do not need some other company, somebody's name on your business card to give you value or to feel okay when you walk into a room and people ask you what you do. So what I do with people is I help them articulate in words that that are written and ideas that come out. That are out there in the media, what exactly is special and unique about them that makes them different from everybody else, and why they should want to do business with you. It's the work that's done after Patty does the kind of work that she does with you. I sometimes do that kind of stuff too. It happens, overlaps, but really what I do is like after we figured that out, now what do we say, how does that translate into that opt-in page, that landing page for your preview call, that ad on Facebook, how does that all translate? How does it all translate around? So I've had these are entrepreneurs just like you. That lady on the top is a coach who used to be my coach and became a client. Her name is Gina DeVee. She makes a lot of money. I wrote sales pages for her. And when she read them, she said, "I'm going to double my price for this program because of what I'm reading here. I want to buy it. That's not, so she did. She doubles her prices, and she actually got, I can't take all the credit because she's an amazing saleswoman, but I was pretty proud of that. Amanda Moxley is another client of mine. She used to be a health coach, and now teaches business coaching to other health coaches, and she's doing amazingly well, selling like $10,000 programs. So I've been with these folks on their way up, and it's really been exciting to me to be part of their journey. Now, I have a little video that I wonder if it's going to work. I've never done this before. What? Let's see. Oh, I went back. All right, now there it is. There's a box there that's supposed to have a video in it, and I don't know if it's on your thing. What do I do? On your thing. Oh, I do it on mine? Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, it didn't. It just went to the next one. Sorry. It played when I did a preview. Oh well. I guess it's not very good. Oh well.
Refresh the page.
I don't know.
Go back again.
Go back again. Okay, so sorry. You're going to try it? Yeah. You looked in the preview.
I want to see the video.
I want to see the videos. There's other videos too, and I want them to work. It doesn't look like there's even anything in there, unfortunately. It's doing something. Okay, talk amongst yourself. No. Anyway, were you able to see this video? It would be basically, I want you to see it because Amanda is so much fun. She's very, very enthusiastic about her business. She's very enthusiastic about what copy can do to help you sell things when you're not around. If you can't make it work for you, it's no big deal. Let's just move on. Maybe I'll be able to play it later. Ah! Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so three reasons why writing great sales copy is so important. As I've been saying so far, it stands in for you when you can't be here live. I mean, this is a conference about how to speak on stage and how to do live events and all that stuff. But when you're not live in front of people, that's the best. Okay, that is the best. When you can't be live in front of people, your copy is your ambassador, stands in for you. And when you can't be there to explain what you're doing, so a lot of people will write copy and they'll think, well, if they just read every word of it, then everybody will get it. But they're not going to do that, so you have to make sure that it works to explain what you do without making people work too hard. It's also how you talk to the many instead of just one-on-one. When you're at a networking event and you're talking to people one-on-one, then that's a very powerful thing. But with your copy that's online, especially, you could be talking to hundreds, thousands of people, and you have no idea who's going to be reading it. So you need to make sure that if you get it quote unquote wrong, it's not wrong in front of one person, it's wrong in front of the whole world. Not to put pressure on you or anything, but it's important. And it tells not just customers, but potential joint venture partners, whether you're somebody that they want to do business with. I mean, how many times have you met somebody and you've gone to their website and gone, I don't know, they don't seem serious, I don't really believe them. It's not just the copy, it's the kind of the whole thing, but that could be part of it. I know it's happened to me, that I've been kind of disappointed, maybe because I'm just a stickler for writing, but I've been kind of disappointed sometimes when I've gone to see it and I've seen people's web copy. Okay, so 3 reasons why writing your copy is so bleeping hard. Okay, it's really, as I know it's a family event here, we have some Christian coaches like this, like language. Okay, so number 1, it's nearly impossible to write objectively about yourself, and that includes everyone. That's not I am no exception to that rule. It's very hard to see yourself. It's very hard to see what's different and special about you. The very thing that you take the most for granted is probably the thing you should be talking about. It's probably the reason people are coming to see, oh, no, everybody knows that, everybody does that. When I first gave a presentation like this, the coach I was working with, he said, give this talk. And I said, no, come on, that's so basic. Everybody knows this stuff. I have to say, people came up to me afterwards and said, oh my God, it's so valuable. I was like, really? Okay, so you can't do it for yourself, but someone else can do it for you. It doesn't have to be a copywriter either. You can work with a buddy, and they'll be able to tell you in a second what your secret sauce is. Some people do it better than others. Some people do it like Patty, they're very articulate about it, but just having someone else's perspective, and if they can help you write it, then then you're halfway there, more than halfway there. The second reason is, you think there are all these secrets the gurus are going to tell you these secret words, and these words that sell, and you have to know these techniques, and you have to split test. It's not false, but it's not really true either. They're telling you that because they want you to buy their stuff. Okay? There's a lot of this that if you really take on board what I'm going to teach you today, you will be much, much better as your own copywriter than you are now. Okay? You will have much better results. And the third thing is the dreaded one. Just getting started is just so hard. And so what I'm going to teach you today, I hope, is going to solve all three of those problems. The objectivity, the feeling that you don't know enough, and and I don't know where to start. Okay, so if that's, you know, how and it's going to be easy. Who likes easy? Who likes easy? Okay. All right. So here we go. The magic 5-step formula. I have to keep looking because I haven't really, I'm not used to this. Magic 5-step formula is creating compelling client copies every time. I learned this my first week in advertising. I was, fresh out of college, 20 years old, went to a young group account, one of the biggest ad agencies, the most important ad agencies in the world. If you watch Mad Men, it's kind of modeled after that agency. I was in awe. A lot of those Mad Men people were still there, and I was like, oh, what am I doing here? Anecdotal, still pretty new at the time. So I didn't know what to do, and luckily my boss took pity on me and said, Lisa, there's really only four phrases, and I added a fifth, because we're in direct marketing. 4 phrases that you need to know to write pretty much any advertising copy, and it actually works for everybody. I'm going to show you how it is. So there are actually 5 phrases, and here they are. Oh dear, good news. Here's why. That's right. But wait, there's more, right? Okay, so you already see where this is going. All right. If you watch any infomercial, I know somebody mentioned infomercials before. They all do this. You're not going to be as cheesy as that in your copy, and you're not going to hit every one of these points in every piece of copy that you write, because different pieces of copy have different purposes. Some of them are just to get people to express interest. Some of them are to make a sale. Some of them are to create rapport. But when you write a sales letter, you're going to hit every single one of these, every single one, and you'll be able to do it much more subtly than the Ginsu Night guys. Okay, but just so you know how the structure goes, and then you can start to get elegant. It's always better to be clear before you're clever. So this is how you can start your structure. So let's talk about oh dear. Okay, oh dear. Oh dear, what is this? Oh dear is, what is my client, prospect's biggest problem? What is their problem? And how can I talk about their problem in a way that really resonates with them? I'm getting a message from my person there. I'm going to send my energy, and I'm going to do what you said. Okay, so how can I get inside their head? So this is something that is so important, because if you don't establish a kind of a benchmark of where you're going with this, what problem does your product or service solve, it's going to be much harder to sell, because no one wants to be negative. But the fact is that it's much easier to sell a painkiller than a vitamin. Okay, I have a coach that always says that. If you need some vitamin C because you just want to be healthier, that's one thing. But if you want vitamin C because you feel a cold coming on, and you have to be ready for a big meeting tomorrow morning, you're going to run out to Vons in the middle of the night to get that vitamin C. That's different energy than just like, oh, I'm interested. And the higher your price, the more you've got to hit the pain. Okay, because so here's how I do that. This is not writing. This is just common sense. Okay, I guess that's me. I'm talking to Civic Freud. I'm not sure. But basically, I ask my clients to play their prospects. So I'd like to ask someone to play along with me here. Who's a coach in this room? Some kind of coach consultant? Okay. So I'm sorry, I forgot your name. So what kind of problem does your service solve?
People that really are unclear on their purpose, unclear of who they are, or what they want in their lives.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to play along with me and pretend you are one of the people that you're selling to. You're one of your clients.
Sure.
And I'm like your therapist. I'm your best friend. You're on the phone with me. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your problem? What's wrong? What's going on with you right now?
Nothing's working out. I'm not happy at my job. I'm not happy in my relationship. It just seems like nothing ever works out for me, and I don't know what to do.
And how long has this been going on?
Maybe this past year or so. Just that I don't have any more excitement, and
And why is that? Why does that suck?
Why is that?
Why is that bad? Why is that bad? Why is that so bad? What about that is terrible for you?
I'm frustrated. I just want more, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change it.
Is that how you talk to like your best girlfriend? Pretend you know each other a little bit more. What I would be doing more would be when I get into my clients, what I you know, I really had it with this, you know, it's been a year now, and, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know why I even started to do this, my job is horrible, I don't really know who I am, and, you know, I really don't know how I'm going to make a living, and my relationships are beginning to suffer, and, you know, my husband or my boyfriend is, you know, is wondering when the hell I'm going to get on the stick, you know? And so when you start to write your copy, and I don't know if that's actually that's going on. Well, okay, I'm just, you know, that's what happens, right? So when you have that conversation, when you pretend to be your prospect, and you just take a digital recorder, and you know, write it all down. Then at the beginning of your sales letter, you could say, do you ever feel like it's been like a year and you still don't know what the hell you're doing, and your boyfriend is asking you, and all these people who know you are complaining that you haven't figured your life out, and it's really embarrassing and frustrating, and you know, if you start to talk to them, and they're like, well, yeah, she really gets it. She gets it, she knows me. You are 90% of the way there to have them believing that you have the answer. All you have to do is understand their problems and articulate their problems in the kind of way that they would, explain it to them even better than they would explain it to you. And you've got people's attention. Okay, so, and you have to look for the problem. I'm spending most of my talk on this part of it because it's so important. It's the most important part. When I was in advertising, this was back in the 80s, the only thing you could put in your dishwasher to wash your dishes was powder. And the big brand was Cascade, Procter & Gamble. My company had Colgate-Palmolive, which was a competing brand. They didn't have almost any of the market, and they came out with this new liquid dishwasher detergent, revolutionary liquid to go in your dishwasher. Big problem, nobody needed it. Nobody wanted it, nobody needed it, everyone loved Cascade. So what happened was, you know, I didn't know what to write as far as a commercial because my art director and I were sitting there going, what are we going to do? Because nobody even needs this. Why did they make this? They hadn't done any research. Nobody needed this product. So I went to the focus groups that they were having. So they would have a bunch of women sitting around a table, and the moderator would ask them, you know, so, you know, what do you think of this product? And they're like, oh no, we love Cascade. Cascade is wonderful. It was like, you know, Procter & Gamble did a great job of making people really brand loyal. That's what you want to do too, okay? They just loved it. Finally, we were in despair. We thought, well, we just have to tell Colgate to, like, not even bother launching this thing, because we don't know, you know, no one needs it. So finally, the moderator said, in desperation, she said, if you had to think of something that you don't love about doing your dishes right now, what would that be? And one woman said, well, it's probably because my dishwasher is older. She wouldn't even blame the product then. It's probably because I have an older dishwasher. But sometimes I open the dishwasher after the cycle is done, and the powder is clumped in that little cup, and there's little specks of powder all over my dishes. And the other women around the table started going, yeah, that happens to me too. I hate that. You know, 5 seconds ago, they were all, oh, I love powder. So the moderator smelled blood, and she's like, and how does that make you feel? Well, it makes me really mad because I thought the dishes were done, and now I have to do them again. And yeah, how does that make you feel? What does it make you want to do? Well, it makes me want to take my dishes and throw them out the window. And all the women said, yeah, me too. And I went to my art director and I said, that's it. We'll just go up and write that. Okay? So if I can make this work, I can actually show you this commercial. It's 25 years old. But I'm going to see if I can do this. It's going to be a real, okay, I can do it. I think I can do it. Okay, so I hope you can hear this. Oh no. How do I do this? How do I make the volume?
Volume down. See the volume right under there. Oh, that's all right.
Put your mic next to it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Put my mic next to it.
There's a speaker.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? We need to hear this.
Okay.
It's pretty visual.
How do I do it? Okay, so it's a little bit, let's see if I can make this happen again. So slideshow. From current slide. Thank you so much.
Is that your YouTube page?
Yes.
Can we have the address?
Oh, I have two of them. I think I only have a few videos on there, so it's like, I think it's Lisa, I think it's youtube.com/Lisa Rothstein. I think so. I don't have very many videos on there right now. I just started it, but the idea is, now you just saw the 5-step formula, or the 4-step formula, because if direct mail, you don't do, well, wait, there's more on television. I mean, unless you're doing it in a commercial. But, oh no, oh dear, dishwasher powder on the dishes, what do I do? Good news, now there's a liquid. Here's why, because it's a liquid, it dissolves faster. Oh, who knew? Well, that makes so much sense. So now, you never have to worry about this again. This problem you used to have that used to drive you crazy, never again. It flew off the shelves. We won all kinds of awards, not for creativity, I admit. It's not the most elegant commercial in the world. But it did win a lot of effectiveness awards because people said, yeah, that's me. They were like the women in the room. Okay? If we had given up and stopped looking for the pain, they would not have had that success. And so the commercial, I just translated what these women said into something funny and cute, whatever. But, we got it from them. And that's what you have to do. Get it from your clients. What is bothering them? You can always find something. There's a woman in here who I don't know if she's here today because I don't remember who she is. Who does the thing about the roses with the. She didn't come today. Okay, so there's a lady who was here yesterday. Okay, who does this thing with flowers, and somehow she manages to get your name or branding on the flowers. Who knew they needed this? Okay, but once you find out about it, now, does that solve the problem? Well, it doesn't seem like it, but you could say, hey, instead of sending the same little flowers all the time that never really get noticed, people think you didn't really think about it because it's kind of a default gift. This is really special. This way you'll make it really feel special. You'll look so thoughtful instead of like you did something at the last minute. I'm just making that up. And you see what I'm saying? Even something like that seems like a fun thing solves a problem. Look for the problem. It's very important. Okay, so the next, I'm going to go a little faster now. I'm sorry, I know I talk really fast, but I have a lot to get through. I'm probably going to skip some slides. I'm really sorry. But so the next phrase is good news. Good news is, here's the thing that's going to solve your problem. Okay? This is where you announce, don't worry. It seems like there's no hope, but guess what? There is hope. There is. And I know I have a secret. And then the next thing, I'm not even going to take much time on that because you're going to be talking about benefits. You're going to be painting them a picture of what's so great about, when you talk about how bad it sucked before, it's like, here's your life now when you have this great solution, right? But now people want to believe you, but they really don't necessarily. It's too good to be true. So that's what you have to do. Here's why. Here's why it works. So maybe I would ask you to give me what? How do you know it works? When you see something on television or something, what do you see? Social proof, but sometimes you'll also see a demonstration. Before and after. Evidence. Imagine you're a lawyer and you're calling witnesses. I hate to bring up the O.J. Simpson trial, but you've got character witnesses, you've got the glove. Look, it doesn't fit, I couldn't have done it. I mean, it's silly, but sometimes a demonstration is extremely powerful. So if you have something you can demonstrate, if it's you, this was me before, and now this is me now, that is super, super credible. I know it's not original, and everybody does it. They do it because it works. So that's the other thing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. There's some things that just work. So you don't necessarily have to have like a big. It's great that Ray has all these wonderful endorsements from people that we've heard of, but if you're just starting out, you may not have that. But there's other stuff you can do. Okay. So here's why. Here's where you go into the features. Here's why it works. Here's how it works. It works because it's a liquid and dissolves. So I'm explaining to you in a logical way where you go, oh yeah, I can see why that would work. Okay, so you've got testimonials, you've got social proof, which is sort of like testimonials. You've got endorsements, somebody who may not have even used your product that says, Sonia's a great gal and you should just hang around with her because she's so wonderful. They didn't even use her coaching maybe, but they're willing to say something nice about you. So those are, I don't want to go on too much on this. I actually have a free gift to offer you later that's going to go more in depth on that you can have. So those are a couple of my testimonials, so I throw them in the here's why section. And then magic phrase number 4 is, that's right. That's right, you get all this. You solve your problem, it's gonna be great, it works like this, you get all of these features, you get these 3 webinars, and you get all of these things, and this is when you're doing the kind of a recap. You see them on the infomercials all the time, right? And then you basically tick it off. This is also where you might also give a dollar value of each one of these components, right? So I have my little character there who looks a little like me, looking at all the goodies she's going to get and thinking, ooh, what's this going to cost me? And this is at the end of this section is where you would bring up the price. You would basically stack up. Ray already showed you how to do this. Stack up the value. This is worth this. This is worth that. Try to be as truthful as you can. Don't just say, oh, this is worth $1 million. It's not. But when Ray was doing it, you go on her website. If you want to buy this separately, it costs this. If you want to buy that separately, it costs that. Be as reasonable as you can with these valuations when you're doing a sales page. And then, but you get it all for this amount, which is comparatively speaking much less than the cumulative amount of all those things. Does that make sense? Okay. So, but then you add in the bonuses. But wait, there's more. Yay! Wow. So you have so you have bonuses. There are different kinds of bonuses that you can do. The best bonuses are the ones that cost you next to nothing but are very, very valuable for the people. So when you include a digital product as a bonus, I'm going to break my own rule at the end of this presentation. When you include a digital product as a bonus, it costs you how much? 0. And if it's relevant to the person, and you know it's relevant because they bought the other thing, and you're selling it for $500, $600, $1,000, whatever, even $47, it's still for them, a win. So the more you can do that, the better it is. You can also do great joint ventures with bonuses. I have done that. I'm a bonus. An hour with me is a bonus for some of people that an hour with them is a bonus for when I take a product sometimes. So it's a nice way to have like a little quid pro quo. It does mean people's time, but they can pick up a client as long as it's a complimentary service or product. So there's a bunch of different. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a class I've got coming up where we go more into depth on all of these topics. I have so many slides that we're not going to see. Didn't realize how long it takes to go through all this stuff. But anyway, that's the 5-step formula. Okay. So the great thing about this is that whenever you're sitting down to write sales copy, be thinking, have I been strong enough figuring out the problem? Have I been, grand enough offering the solution? Have I offered enough evidence as to why they should believe me? You can ask yourself that, or you can ask a friend that. Do you believe this? Do you get this? Do you see why you need it? Ask a friend. Then stack it all up, add it all up, and make sure that the price is substantially less than the value. Okay? Now it's a no-brainer. They're getting something. They're getting a bargain. It's hard to resist. And then throw in whatever you can, not anything, not irrelevant, something that's relevant and valuable that doesn't take much off out of you, but it's very helpful to them. So this is the class that I was talking about. It's coming up soon. I've done it a couple of times before. It's called the 3-step copy to cash machine. I know we talked about 5 steps. This is more of a 3-step process in terms of media. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that now. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, so here's the 3-step copy to cash machine as I see it. Okay, you have an opt-in page, you have an email, so a little drippy campaign, and then you have a sales page that sells something. Now, an opt-in page could just be, here's my free thing, or an opt-in page could also be a landing page for your preview call. If you're going to be doing it, if you're going to be selling people into your event to be more relevant to this event. But the idea is you need to have an opt-in page that is the place you send people most. Okay? And here's why. Get them in the door, and don't just expect that they're going to come back on their own volition. The internet's a big place. It's easy to get lost, right? Even with all the best intentions in the world, how many bookmarks do you guys have? Do you ever go back there, really? Maybe 2 or 3 places. Most of them are just like, I don't know what this stuff is. So I always liken this to, the 80s when I was dating. You meet a guy in a bar, and you have some instant connection. It's this great thing, and you just think this is him. This is the man for me. And you talk all night. You leave. You're walking on air, and after home you realize nobody has each other's phone number. Okay, that's what happens every time you do something like this, and you send people to your blog or your website. To an article. They're interested, and they may really like you, but unless you capture their information, there's no way for you to decide when to reach out to them again. You're depending on chance, and chance is out of your control, right? So when you send prospects to your website or blog, now I'm going to go a little in depth on the opt-in page, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. But this is something we cover a whole webinar and Q&A on this. When you send prospects to your website or your blog, there's too much stuff for them to do. There's about you, there's your mission statement, there's all your products, and there's all your articles and your blogs, and okay, I think I'll come back later and really take a better look at this. They're gone, okay? But if you put a pop-up or you send them an opt-in page first, where are they coming from? They're coming from your speech, they're coming from your article, they're coming from the internet. If they clicked something, they took an action that says, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Why wouldn't you now say, okay, well, I've got something else you might be interested in, and, you know, from all those different places, articles, social media, your business card, you know, send them to an opt-in page that says how to solve your problem that I know you have because you clicked on a link about solving that problem. And now you've got their email address. Now you can send them to your blog anytime you want. You can tell them the story of your life. You have their information. I know this sounds basic, but you'd be amazed how many people don't do it. And you'd be amazed how many people get overwhelmed by all the writing that they have to do for their business. Articles, blogs, and social media, it's overwhelming. And they say, but I'm not making any money. It's because you don't have this three-step thing in place that is a path to a sale. Once you have it, then all that other stuff makes more sense because you're sending them into your, it's like inviting them to a party. If you're having a party and nobody comes, I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday about you don't need a humongous list, you need a committed list, but you do need some list. Because if you have a party and nobody comes, if you have a theater and nobody sees the show, you know, what good is that really? How are you communicating? So, you know, your book, your ads, everything. With email, next step, you know, every email needs to have a specific purpose and only one purpose. We talk about this in the course. What's the main purpose of this email? Is it to just, you know, build your authority? Is it to create more rapport? Is it to hint that you've got something coming up and you need to get ready to maybe make a purchase? Is it to entice them to go to the sales page and make a purchase? What is it? You know, who are you talking to, and where are they in your relationship? Did they opt in yesterday, or have they been on your list for a year? You're not going to talk to those people the same way. And what do I want them to do next? Always have an action. Even if it's just click here to read my blog, always train them to take action, because then when you say go here to buy my stuff, now it's not the first time they've clicked and done something and taken your advice. Okay, and then we go into emails. This is into sales pages. This is one that I wrote for this. There's Amanda again, Amanda Moxley, and you know, going into all of the different pieces that have to go into a sales page, including how to apply the 5-step formula to your own specific sales page. So here's what we've got. It's a live course. It starts next month, but there's also a product that's going to be you know, it's going to be the product. Oh yeah, so. That'd be a good time for somebody to hand out.
That would be the action forms.
The action forms. Okay, great. You can tell I haven't done this very much because I forgot to actually have to do that. Thank you very much, folks. Okay, so what's in this for you? This is what you've always got to be thinking. This guy's listening to WIIFM. What's in it for me? FM radio. Okay, so what's in this for you? Because I'm a copywriter, this is what I do, and so it's important to me. But why is this important to you? Nobody does learn copywriting because they want to be a better writer. If you shouldn't be learning copywriting because you want to be a better writer. That's not the end result we want. What you're going to get is a repeatable, foolproof recipe to follow again and again for any product or business. You won't be stuck. You're going to stop spinning your wheels doing a lot of writing that isn't making you any money. Once you have this structure in place, you will be able to send people to a place where you have a chance of making some money at least. You're going to get priceless feedback from me and also from other people in the group. It's been working out really, really well. There's a lot of, you see how the masterminding is going in here. It's not exactly a mastermind, but people do share a lot of really good feedback. And so before if you're not ready for prime time yet, they'll tell you, in a safe place. And as I mentioned with my client, when your copy is better and you're making a better case for it, you can charge a higher price and sell more. So this is how you make more money when your copy's better. And you also don't have to pay somebody else, like me. I charge thousands of dollars to work on people's copy, and I should. I've been in the business a long time. I get results. It's time consuming. It's a one-on-one service. I would rather you guys learn to do it yourselves and then come to someone like me when you've got a great first draft that's already mostly there, where I can just charge you a little bit to tweak it to make it better. Rather than, so it's not appropriate for everyone to spend thousands of dollars on a high-priced copywriter. When you've got a huge list and you're selling products for thousands of dollars, then maybe it makes some more sense. Okay, so this looks like it actually might work. There's an actual video of this video. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. She will play. Oh, it looks like it's doing something.
Hi, my name is Lula, and I'm
Hold on. That's fine. You can hear it?
about my fabulous experience with you in class. She made something so simple, and she broke it down to things like this cool bits and pieces when it was like this big, overwhelming monster that was kind of taking over my head. And she's super generous and answered everyone's questions. She gave us lots of information, lots of content, very in-depth. And she gave all these excellent tools, resources, and kind of material that I would never found by myself that were super, super helpful. So I highly recommend checking out her class. You have the opportunity
Okay, well, thank you. If you want me to just kind of like sign what she said, she got the class really good. And it's easy, and it's really good. So yeah, I don't know. I'm amazed that we've made this work so far at all. So I'm ready to. Now what do I do to get to the next slide? Okay, I'll just do that. Okay, good. So here are the things we're going to cover. Here's some of the things we're going to cover in the class. We have covered in the class before. And that you can find out actually as soon as you sign up, because one of the things you get is is access to the materials that have already been created. So what your opt-in, so we basically divided up into those three things: the opt-in page, the email campaign, and the squeeze page. So the first webinar deals with your opt-in page. The elements in opt-in page you must have, must not have to get to do its job. How to make a headline that people will not ignore and take action on. Why you should use video. I'm guilty of this myself, I'm just getting into it now. Why you should use video and how to create the perfect script, especially for your opt-in page. Relevant video. I know that you probably talk about that a lot. How to bribe your visitors to give you their info with the right kind of information. Just saying, join my newsletter, or I got a free report, might not cut it these days. You know, people are pretty jaded now. Easy and fast ways to create an irresistible freebie that people really want, that won't cost you a lot of money or time. And this is something that a lot of people, I like technology, even though it hasn't been cooperating very well today. I love technology, and I see a lot of people get stopped. Well, how do I get on the internet? Very easy. These days, there's no excuse. So, we talk about how to get that online. I'm going to add some tutorials to this about that too. In your email campaign, we talk about how to communicate with your list without bugging them. I hear this all the time. People are so worried. Well, if I email them too much, won't they unsubscribe? Won't they be mad at me? Won't they think I'm nagging? Not if you give them, good content. Not if you only sell every so often, and in between there are other things that, they did sign up, they're interested, don't be shy. Okay, there are ways of doing it so that it's not obnoxious. Subject lines, if they don't open your email, it doesn't matter how great it is. So it's very important your subject lines make people take action. What if I run out of ideas? Oh my God, I've got to send 2 emails a week, I'll never think of something every week. I've got enough for maybe 6 months worth of business in my mind. There's always new ideas. And we talk about how to come up with those. And then when do you start, when you actually, make the offer? It's like, again, dating. It's nice if you don't ask somebody to go to bed with you on the first date, but on the other hand, if it's the 50th date and you still haven't, had a good night kiss, you're beginning to wonder what's wrong with this person, right? So you have to actually make an offer at some point. And then your sales page. We actually did 2 webinars on that one. Don't do this. Hey, buy my stuff. You see the reaction of those people, they're not happy. So you have to figure out how to run a sales page that is something that people enjoy reading. People say, oh, I hate those long copy sales pages. Well, they work, and they work because some people enjoy reading them because they're fun to read. If you're explaining to people how you're going to solve their problem and you understand their problem, they're enjoying that. They feel understood, they feel heard. Like when you talk to your clients on a discovery call, and they just get value just out of exploring the problem. That's what a good sales page does. How to tell your own personal story in a way that actually helps you sell. It doesn't go on, too long. Tips and tricks to boost your reputation and credibility. Like I said, I'm going to give you a free gift at the end that's going to help you with that. How to get your clients to toot your own horn for you. Because if I tell you I'm great, it's one thing. If Ray tells me you're great, I'm great, then it's it's better. okay? You believe that more. How and when to offer a guarantee, and what does she cover? We get this a lot. Oh my God, if I offer a guarantee, won't everybody ask for their money back? And what if people do this, and what if people do that? There are reasons for a guarantee that don't have anything to do with people getting their money back, okay? So we talk about that. And then, what are good bonuses for you? You know, so what are good bonuses in general, and when we get into your personal business on the Q&A calls, what would be a good bonus for your time? So here's what you're going to get here, okay? So, oh wait a minute, I want to see, I must be on the wrong, oh wait, well, I'm not going to worry about that now. Okay, so you're getting you're getting 4 webinars that are going to be live, and each one of them is focused in depth on one of the 3 steps. Why 4 when there are 3 steps? Because we have 2 on the sales page, because it's so much stuff. There are handouts and worksheets. We have 4, this is really valuable, we have 4 open Q&A calls in between the webinars so that, you know, your questions get answered, not only your questions, but also if you want us to look at your website or your sales page and you want me to give, you know, actual feedback, what you could change, how to make a better headline for this, what's missing, and things we get a lot done on those calls. You get all the recordings and slides and all the transcripts of everything, so you have this to refer to that, you know, forever. So it's really helpful because whenever you have to sit down and do this again, this is not the first and the last time you're going to be needing this skill. So you have this to refer back to. So you're getting instant access to all the current course materials. Like I said, I taught this class twice before live. All the materials have already been put on the internet. So you will become like an instant member of that site and be able to review what's already there as soon as you want. In case you have something that you need to put together right now, or you want to take a look at your current sales copy and see how it measures up, you can do that right now. You can get started right away. This is amazing. I know everybody does this now, but ours is great. We have a Facebook group. You can become an instant member of this. It's pretty active. People are very helpful to each other. I'm in there all the time, and more than I should be, because I spend a lot of time on social media. So you'll get a lot of my attention when you join the Facebook group. When you sign up today, you become an instant member. We'll put you in the group tomorrow. Then I also have a couple of other little components here. Something that I call the testimonial generator. I'm redeveloping that right now with some new information about how to get really awesome testimonials from your clients. Because everyone's talking about testimonials, but how do you get them? How do you ask about being an ad? And how do you get ones that actually make you sound good instead of like, oh, well, it was kind of cool when I worked with Bob, and Bob's great. You know, it's not really very good. Okay? So we can help them give us what we need to help us market our business. And then also a headline head start templates, which is basically kind of fill in the blanks, but you know, not so it's paint by numbers as that, but it's fill in the blanks where you can see how you can actually get started, and then you can use that as a jumping off point, because headlines are super important. We talk about plagiarism. We don't plagiarize, but we do swipe. Okay, copywriters everywhere have a swipe file. What is that? It's when we see something awesome that somebody else has done, we say, that's awesome, I'm going to copy that, paste that into my little folder, just to get ideas, because I'm selling something kind of like that. You know, maybe I can do the testimonials the way he did, or maybe I can write a headline that's funny like that one, or something. You know, you notice things and you keep them. I've been keeping a running file for a while. I'll share what I think is relevant with you guys, so you don't have to go looking for that stuff that works. So you'll also, as part of this offer, get, you know, I'm going to create a physical product. You see, that doesn't exist. That picture, I made that on myecovermaker.com. I made that myself. I shouldn't do that. I should be hiring somebody on Fiverr to do that, but I like creative stuff, so I did it myself. But it will look something like that. I'm going to talk to Rothstein about producing it for me. And there will be 4 DVDs instead of 3 in this full webinars. And you know, so and it's going to have everything that's going to be in your class, plus the best of what's come out of the other classes, and maybe a few other things. You know, so basically you're going to have input to what's going to be in this product. And when it's created, this spring it will be delivered to your door for free. So that's going to be part of this as well. So basically you get instant access to the course as it was, participation in the upcoming class where you get to actually ask questions about your own business, and the physical product delivered to your door, which is going to be, you know, even better than what you've experienced live. Okay, you see what I'm doing? I'm demonstrating what I was teaching you. This is what I was looking for before. I thought I was on the slide already. That's right. You get all this. You get all this. You get instant access to the current online course material. You get instant access to the private Facebook community with feedback by me and other people and tools and resources. You get admission to the next live copy of the cash machine. I say live, it's not in a room, it's not still on the internet, but you will be participating. You get the spy file, the testimonial generator, and headline kit. And you get physical product shipped to you by spring 2015. Total value! $19.97, but guess what? You think I'm going to ask you to pay me $19.97 today? No. Of course not. Oh, look, I made a slide that actually moved in a different direction. It's not going to be $19.97. It's going to be, oh, look, it dissolved. Only $4.97. Or 3 easy installments of $197. So what that means is you can get started today for less than $200, and just enjoy all the same benefits as somebody who paid in full. So it's real. I tried to make it really easy for you guys. This is such an important thing for you to know how to do. Okay, here's context. This is what I was doing at 4 in the morning last night. I think they're trying to add some things from Ray's presentation in here. Context. I just told you what it's going to cost you. What's it going to save you? Okay? What's it going to save you? Thousands of dollars you could be paying over and over to a professional like me to do your copy for you. It's going to save you hours of frustration, sitting and sweating blood over your keyboard, trying to figure out what to write, because you'll always know what to do. You'll always know where to start. It'll save you lost leads and sales, because you'll have a system in place that attracts new clients and leads 24/7. So I think that's pretty awesome to be able to. It's a skill that every business person needs to have, because you really don't want to always be hiring somebody else. The other thing is, if you did decide to hire someone, I think I said this before, knowing this stuff will know, number one, are they doing their job? Number two, you can come to them with copy that's already most of the way there. So they don't have to learn all about your business, and guess what? They're not going to charge you what they would to do it from scratch. You'll get much more value out of someone like me if you come to me with a really, with a decent first draft, and I can see where you're going. And then I can take it and make it really, really work, for a lot less than what I would charge to start, to just have to go deep dive into your business, start from scratch, and just, learn and write every word for you. So it's just a really super skill to have. Oh, look who's here. These are some screen captures from our Facebook group. Arlene here. See, that was Arlene's comment on our Facebook group after the first class. I just thought I'd do a little screen capture there. Jing.com. Does everybody know about Jing? Jing is great. You have it on, you can capture things off your screen. Ariana said it was, she said, thanks for the media and substantial experience you're passing on. One of the best investments I've made in my business. And really, I know everybody says this, but it really is an investment in yourself and in your business, because it's a skill you'll have forever. Technology changes, but these principles have been working forever, and no matter what the media is, it still works. So this is why it's so important to me that you guys learn this stuff, whether you learn it from me or by trial and error, but I'd rather you learn it from me, because I really think you can get a lot from this class. Also, here you go, the 100% money-back guarantee. I only have happy customers. I've only had one person refund ever, and that's before they actually took the class. They just decided I need that money back for something else. I don't know what it was, but she never even joined the class. Everybody else has been, they know that there's money back guarantee, and you can go through the whole course and ask for your money back. I just want you to be happy. If it's too hard for you, if it's not for you, or it's too easy for you, then it wasn't for you. Okay? But wait, there's more, because I want to walk my talk here. This is an event bonus. I'm starting a new group that's going to be for alumni of this class. That's called the Copy to Cash Academy. There are Q&A and also training calls starting next week after next. I'm not sure exactly when that is. Where you'll be able to basically just have me on an ongoing basis as someone to bounce ideas off of and ask me questions and stuff. I may also bring in some guest experts based on what people say they're looking to learn. I have somebody who wants to talk to you about blogging, but I really don't want to give you that stuff until after you've got this other stuff in place, because it's so important. You already have enough knowledge. And then, for the first lucky 7 action takers only, this is what I told you should never do, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay? I'm giving you my time, because a lot of you just really need to sit down with somebody and have you go through your stuff with you. and you may not feel comfortable necessarily doing it in a group, or you may want more time. What I will do for you, if you will sign up today, and that goes even if you only do the payment plan, is I will review your copy with you. Well, you can send me anything that you want me to take a look at, and then we will get on the phone for 45 minutes, which will be recorded. And believe me, in 45 minutes, I can give you an hour and a half worth of advice, as you can probably tell. And we'll record it. You can listen to it over and over again. And I can't wait to take a look at your stuff and help you out with. I can see right away what can be better about it and how you can start making more sales. And Arlene, you have a question?
I have a question. I'd like to give a testimonial.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask something too.
That Lisa is brilliant at what she does. I'm not a writer. I freak out at the thought of having to write. And I was doing my workshop. I was going to do my workshop, and I needed her to write my sales page, and she just jumped right in. And when she finished, I was like, "Oh, that is really good." So she's excellent. She gives you all she has. She has. I mean, this is like amazing. All that she's offering for a small price, I have to say. So you don't take advantage of it, because she's got the expertise. She knows how to do it. She's sharp as can be, smart as can be, and I have to tell you one thing: your presentation was outstanding. I absolutely loved it. It was really good.
It reminds me that there's someone else in the room who's worked with me before, and she actually graciously offered to speak up for me. So, Sonia, you mind saying a couple of words?
So I hired Lisa actually to write a sales page for me, and I thought I knew a little bit about copywriting. I'm not trying to be a copywriter, but I wanted to give her something so I wouldn't be totally embarrassed, start from scratch. And when I got her sales copy, I cried. I mean, I almost cried. It was that good. So I was so impressed. But I know I can't afford to always invest in her because she's not cheap, like she said. And so when she offered the course, I immediately signed up. I was one of the first actually to take this. But just the course gives you so much confidence that you can step out and feel like you're decent in terms of writing your copy. And then what I do is I go back and listen to the recordings. But Lisa, she stays in there and she gives you so much value. I run some of my copy by her and she gives a lot of feedback. Also, what I like about Lisa is that she has a marketing mind. So when you talk about opt-in pages, she understands all that stuff. So I highly recommend that you invest in the program.
Thank you, Sonia. That's great. And that is why I do this, because nobody at IBM, to my knowledge, ever cried over my copy. Maybe they did when I wasn't looking, but this is what I get out of working with you guys. Corporate world is great, but there's no substitute for knowing that I'm helping support you get your gift out. Patty talked about this. All the speakers have talked about this. We're all here to help you express yourself in the world, and that's what makes me excited. And the great thing is that the technology that exists now, I know some of you are afraid of it, but it's the most wonderful thing. It gives you, all of us, we're so lucky to be living at this time, where the technology gives you the chance, the opportunity to be out there like somebody really big. Nobody knows that you're sitting there in your pajamas by yourself. Nobody knows. No one ever has to know. So what I want to do is help you think of yourself like, you are, the next Tony Robbins if you want. There's no reason why you can't look at yourself that way, why you can't build a tribe like that, why you can't have a brand and a presence like that. And I see you bigger than you see yourself. I want you to, and we all do. And I want to help you translate that into, and give you the confidence to write for yourself. With help and feedback from me. So if you want to have a private session with me about your copy, be one of the first 7 to sign up today. Otherwise, all the other, I did promise you a present. And there it is. I actually signed you up as an affiliate at 4 o'clock this morning, Ray. So if you go and get this and you ever buy anything from me, Ray will receive credit for this, just so you know.
I didn't even know about that. Yeah.
I asked you guys to sign up. I'm not sure you did it, so I just did it myself. So anyway, if you go to bit.ly, /PSS copy gift, you can download this audio that I made last summer, I think it was, or last spring. And this is where I was telling you I go into a lot of kind of, not sneaky, but somewhat surprising tricks that I learned in the advertising business about how you can create a sense of trust and authority in your copy. I call it what to say to make them pay, just because it's rhyme. But it's how to build up trust and authority in your copy, even if you're just getting started, even if you don't have a big track record or a million testimonials yet. There's still things you can do and things you can include that will help you in the here's why section of your copy that are going to help people believe that what you say is true. And that's so important on the internet when you're not there to look them in the eye and they know you're a real person. You're asking them to get out their credit card for, you know, for someone they've never met, maybe. And so that's why this stuff is so important. And it was a really good call. It's really worth it for you guys to download that. I invite you to see me in the back table. You can change the form. I fill in the blanks where there are blanks on the form. Come see me at the back table, and we'll get you signed up. And I can't wait to work on your copy with you, starting real soon. Thanks very much.
Well, Lisa, and did you guys see those amazing slides, the cartoons? She actually created those, right?
Yes, that's so important to put your personality in your stuff, and that's my new way to do that. So it also helps you see it's not going to be scary to write a copy.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We're in the home stretch. So I invite you to go to the back and take advantage of Lisa's generous offer. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about pricing. How many of you want to know how to price your